All right, everyone. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to do the Arctic Base Event, the Arctic Research Base. So first things first, this is the current map that we're running off of. If you're watching this from Rested Reality, you will notice that Arctic is in the northern central part of the map where the snow is, and you should see some sort of a pop-up in chat talking about the event. You typically get like a 5-minute warning, and then it pops up saying like there's a recon team and other stuff. So I'm going to give a real quick rundown on the gear, and then we're going to hop into it. So ideally, obviously, you're going to want a full metal setup like I've got here. You probably can deal with like road sign armor, road sign gloves, and stuff like that. Just as long as you're not taking hefty amounts of cold damage, you should be fine. I brought a little bit of gear here for like a rekit in case I accidentally die for some reason. Generally, your best possible kit is going to be an M2 and an L96. The L96 basically serves the purpose of being able to pick off some of the enemies and thin the herd before they, before you like really get into the thick of the event. And then the M2 is obviously just your main free-fire weapon, running around killing all the NPCs. So let's get over to the event and get set up and get this thing started. While you're flying in, or however you decide to get there, whether it's horseback or car or even just walking, probably a good suggestion is get yourself a sleeping bag crafting while you're traveling, as well as possibly a small stash if you want to keep a like a secondary kit available and you don't have a base actually built out here, which is probably a good decision. So you're going to want to find a nice stretch of land decently far out from the Arctic Base event, basically just far enough out so that you can safely park any vehicles you bring, as well as enough room to place a sleeping bag, which coincidentally is right here. All right, I got a stash down. I'm going to throw in a basic kit, hide this thing. And there we go. We have our respawn sorted. I'm going to turn off the thing because it's noisy. So from this particular angle, you should see Arctic in the distance over there. All the flashlights and people running around and stuff like that. Basically what we're going to do is get set up in the hills here and try to start picking them off one by one. You can do this with an L96 or a Bolty. An M39 with an 8X would work pretty well as well. Just anything that has range on it that can help you whittle them down is very quickly going to help you thin the herd, if you will. Now that we've thinned the herd pretty drastically, let's go ahead and take a nice little walk inside of the event. So all in all, there's usually about a dozen, maybe just a little bit more than a dozen total enemies here. As you get closer, you'll see that thing just popped up. It shows your time, the number of enemies left in this particular phase, and then the two types of NPCs you are here to save, which is the scientist and the pilot. And if you find their codes, it'll pop up instead of just a bunch of asterisks, which is definitely ideal. So as you can see there, I killed one of the NPCs, and the number went down. So there's only 2 total NPCs left at this point, which means that we have definitely whittled down the amount of people you're supposed to kill here by quite a lot. If you want, you can just loot everything as you go. As you can see here, I picked up a note. The note here has Scientist 8247 on it. The 8247 is the code. Once you kill all of the enemies in the particular phase, the code will automatically get shown on screen. The NPCs will they will throw grenades and flashbangs at you, so you need to be very cognizant of your surroundings and make sure you're not pinned in a corner. You need to be able to obviously get away if they start throwing stuff at you. That can get pretty deadly pretty quickly. I instantly died to a grenade last time. It was it was pretty rough. So as you can see here, Scientist 8247, it's the same note. The Scientist will naturally drop notes as you kill them. Should be 2 or 3 during the first wave. Once you kill them all, which you should probably do anyway, the code will automatically pop up on the top of the screen, and you just don't need to keep the note in your inventory. So typically that's pretty much what I go for. So we've got a pretty hefty amount of time before the event ends to get to the next phase. So I'm going to take this moment just to run around and collect a few bodies and get some scrap started at the recycler here. All right, so once you're done recycling, if you want to take a look at the center dome building here, I don't know what kind of building this is. It's called the center dome building. The barracks to the right of it is where we're going to be going to find the Scientist. And you should find a locked room, and you'll just input a code. I'm gonna grab this real quick. Yep. And the door should look like this. So you'll see a wheel. If there's multiple options for the code, always choose the furthest one clockwise. It should be this one. So keep in mind, as soon as you open this door, this starts phase 2 of the event. And there's a bunch of heavy scientists in Arctic suits that show up. So you need to be very, very prepared as soon as you open this door. Go. You'll hear them come in on snowmobiles, which is right here. While they're moving, you can't hurt them, so just don't bother. As soon as they step off, they are free game. There should be 6 to 8 of them in total. Oh, that was pretty easy. Phase 3 comes in, and there's a giant helicopter, a Chinook, that will land and spawn a bunch more of the mobs. They come out on snowmobiles again, and they're basically just going to run around, and you have to try and protect the pilot during this time. There's a timer during this particular phase for another 35 seconds, and they should... Yep, there they go. They come out now. You'll see this one come out. You should stop right here, and as soon as they get out... Go. And all of those guys are dead. So it looks like there's a total of 12 of them, 6 per wave. And as long as they're dead, then you're pretty much in the clear. If there's any of them that ever get away, or you hear them like shooting at something and they're not shooting at you, they're probably shooting at the pilot, which is up, or I'm sorry, the Scientist, which is up in here. So the quickest way that I know to get it up to there while you're down here fighting them is jump on the railing here, then jump on the open door, and then just sprint jump up here. And as you can see, our Scientist, who is still alive, is up here doing scientist stuff. And yeah, so as long as he's not dead, then we're in business. So from this phase, we kind of have like an intermission. You'll see up at the top, there's the icon for the pilot as well as the code. You can go hunt him down now, but I like to take this opportunity to loot up some of the bodies and get some recycling going on. So that's going on like basically during the interim of the I guess this would be the introductory to phase 3. Right, there we go. So as soon as this phase is done and you have finished recycling, you are going to need to find the center dome again. and go over here to the, I guess this would be the northern side corner of the compound. It's kind of like a, it'll say employees only on it. It's like another barracks, like a chow hall type thing. You should see a locked door right here and the same spin wheel again, in which case you'll enter the code that is on the top of your screen, assuming nothing is still alive. And as soon as he comes out, immediately you get a new wave of scientists show up, and they are quite bloodthirsty, so be very aware of that. Oh, they're trying to kill the pilot. This is one of those instances where knowing how to get up here quickly is going to help you. Nope. Now that all the enemies are dead, you're going to get one final wave. The NPCs are naturally going to try to escape from here. They will repair this particular minicopter, which, to my knowledge, it's just really can't do anything with. And you're going to get one more final wave of NPCs who are trying to show up and kill everything. So I like to sit like right here because they come in on foot. You should see them over here. There we go. And just like that, all the enemies are dead, and they're going to sit here for another 23 seconds or so and repair their minicopter. And if you did everything right, then the scientist should still be alive, and the pilot should still be alive, and they can escape successfully. And from this particular place, you'll see a crate, which you can begin hacking, as well as a bunch of other boxes to loot. Something I learned recently, which is a neat little trick. So the timer on this is excessively long for no apparent reason. But what you can do is you can actually just shoot it, and it'll reduce the timer down to like 1.5 minutes, which is kind of cool. So let's loot up. And that has got to be the worst elite crate I've ever seen. Almost always there's going to be a crate right here. It's kind of brown in color, and it's going to have 4 C4 in it at the end of the event. So that's kind of cool. Keep that in mind. Get a good amount of research notes as well, which is convenient if you're still not super high level. So from this phase, you'll see the timer up top. You get a good solid 30 minutes of a timer here. Way more than enough time to loot and scoot. So let's just let's delve into it. Let's grab everything we can, scrap it all out. Okay, that was pretty terrible crate. As you'll see down here, as soon as I looted the crate, it says that the Arctic Base event will end in 300 seconds. It's 5 minutes. That's just because there's nothing left to the event. You've looted the crate. That should be pretty much the last thing you ever do. You can keep whatever you want and scrap whatever you want, but as soon as you loot the crate, you're pretty much done. If you want to scan back through Arctic and check if there's any open boxes or anything, by all means feel free, but the event itself is pretty much over as soon as they escape, so you don't really have to worry about too much at this point. Oh, you can hear heli in the distance. A word to the wise, if heli is being a nuisance and kind of just sticking around Arctic Base, obviously you're going to want to sit indoors for as much time as possible. And it's generally suggested to try and, I mean, obviously you want to avoid heli more than likely. I mean, you could try and take him here, which is fine, but if you're trying to just do the event and you don't want to have to deal with him, just stick indoors for a decent amount of time and eventually he's going to leave. So Heli's obviously going to sit up here and fly around for a couple of minutes, so I'm just going to sit in here. Try to be cognizant of this. If Heli is out while you're doing the event, it may cause you to try and basically think twice before you start a new phase, which is perfectly understandable. Heli has moved on, and that's the end of it. Go ahead and fly home at your leisure and enjoy all the loot that you have obtained. That is the Arctic Research Base event in its entirety. Let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to hit me up. I'm always down for teaming if you're curious about the event, and you know, like, you just want to try it out yourself but you don't want to go at it solo. Just if you see me online, let me know. I'll do what I can to help out. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you around.